Okay, we'll do some of the box breathing, meaning just 4 equal parts. So maybe a 4 count works for you, and you'll inhale for 4 counts and then hold at the top for 4 counts. And then make that exhale last the same amount of time. And then hold the breath suspended out for that 4 counts as well. If you don't feel like counting it, you don't have to count. You can just make them as long as possible and try to make them all even. But if you find yourself in your head, sometimes counting is a good way to stay present. But if you're already present, already in this moment, you might find that to be unnecessary or just a distraction. So close your eyes and imagine inhaling a little more length into your spine. Feel the heart lift a little bit as you actually grow a little bit taller. Keep all that space, all that length, hold at the top. And on the exhale, take 4 seconds, softening through the face and the shoulders, softening through the belly, emptying all the air out and then holding there. Making each breath last just a little bit longer than the last. And keep this going with the 4 equal parts. Using every inhale to find a little more space. And every exhale to settle in a little bit deeper. So this is the moment you've been waiting for. All right. Sometimes we get stuck in this trap of time or the past. This little trick thinking that there will be a day, a later moment in time, that it makes more sense to use all of the skills that we have, all the tools in our toolbox. But this is that moment. This is the moment you've been waiting for. See if you can apply all those cliches, all the things, the simple truths that we know about being in this moment, and use them right here and now to be a little more present right in this moment, to breathe a little bit deeper, to let go a little bit more, just to be a little more dedicated to quieting the mind, letting the yoga, letting the breath still the fluctuations of the mind. If you still have that monkey chatter, maybe continue counting the seconds of the breath as we start to move. All right, let's come into a child's pose. You can have your knees together or your knees apart. Bring your big toes together to touch. Let your forehead come down to rest on the ground. And keep that box breath going. Using each inhale to find a little more space as you breathe into that space behind the heart and fill it all the way up. And using that exhale to melt through the heart, soften through the face, the shoulders. You want to open the shoulders a little more, lift those wrists up, coming up onto tented fingertips. Keep softening through the pecs, through the armpits, kind of softening down towards the mat. Now slowly come up onto your hands and your knees, stacking everything in place. Start to really root down into the hands, into the shins, and inhale a little more length into your spine and the back of your neck. Shine the heart forward as you roll the shoulders back a little bit. Keep looking down to keep the back of the neck long. Draw the belly in and up. Now find that external rotation of the upper arms as you draw the elbows in towards each other. Really firing everything up here. And we'll start to move really slowly. Peel that right arm up towards the sky, stacking the shoulders. Keep drawing the hips back. And imagine this inhale could lengthen the spine, the back of the neck, and that right arm. And now slowly, like you're moving through water, bring the back of the hand to the small of the back. Or maybe you grab that left hip. Now keep rooting down into the shins and that left arm, lift up through the heart and roll that right shoulder back to open the heart up towards the sky. Maybe you start to gaze back over the right shoulder too. Press down into all the fingers, all the knuckles of that hand. Find your breath, still finding a little pause between each breath. Like you're moving through water, slowly peel that arm back up towards the sky and thread the needle, bringing the right ear down to the mat, bringing that right shoulder towards the edge of the mat. Walk the left hand forward and settle in. Still making each breath as deep and slow as you possibly can, and still trying to remember to find that pause between each breath, even if it's not 4 equal parts anymore. If you want, lift that wrist up, come up on those tented fingertips. And sometimes it feels good to roll a little bit here, like to roll to the left, dropping that left armpit a little closer to the ground, and then rolling back onto that right shoulder a little bit. Keep drawing the sit bones back towards the heels. And now bring your left hand on top of your right hand, interlace your fingers and straighten into the arms. Pressing the left hand into the right hand to roll that left shoulder back. Relax through the neck and the face, the jaw, the shoulders. And see how long you can make this breath last. Slowly release. Use the left hand to press yourself back up and slowly peel that right arm back up one more time, twisting the heart open. And come back to your hands and your knees. Set it all up again. Everything stacked, everything engaged and long. Root down into the right hand. Slowly peel that left arm up, twisting open to stack the shoulders, drawing the hips back. Back of the hand to the small of the back, or grab that right hip and roll that left shoulder back. Softly draw the shoulders out of the ears. See if you're still making that perfect handprint in the wet concrete with that right hand, or if you've kind of tilted your weight. Moving through water, slowly peel that left arm back up and thread the needle. Left ear down, left shoulder towards the edge of the mat. Walk the right fingers forward. Maybe coming up on those fingertips, maybe rolling side to side a little bit. And then stack that right hand on top of the left, interlace the fingers, straighten into the arms. So feel this twist in that kind of hard to get at place in the upper back as you really press the right hand down and roll the right shoulder back to find that little twist. Make sure you're not creating tension through the face and the neck and shoulders. Soften there. And release. Use your right hand to press up. Peel that left arm up one more time. Twist open. Come back, hands and knees. Now keep the knees stacked over. Keep the hips stacked over the knees as you walk the hands forward like puppy pose. See if you can get your forehead down to rest. Press into the hands. Find that external rotation of the upper arms, kind of hollowing out the armpits as you turn them in towards the face. Maybe you want to start to roll the ankles out a little bit here. Maybe you want to come up on those tented fingertips, lifting the wrists up. And slowly release. Come back up to your hands and your knees. Curl the toes under. And lift the knees a couple inches and really start to fire up the core. Let your head hang heavy. Press into the hands. And with each exhale, lift the knees another inch or two until your spine is nice and long and straight. Maybe you start to straighten into the legs, but focus more on finding that nice long spine, even if the knees have to stay bent. So press into the hands, shake the head a little bit, softly draw the shoulders out of the ears, and imagine melting the heart a little closer to the knees. Maybe you pedal it out, pressing one heel at a time down into the mat. Slowly walk your hands back to meet your feet. Inhale to lift up halfway, and exhale, fold. Grab your elbows behind your knees, pull your face in towards your legs. Softly draw your shoulders out of the ears. Let your head hang freely. You can keep the knees deeply bent, or you can start to rock a little weight into the balls of the feet and lift those sit bones up and back, starting to straighten into the legs. Feel how pulling the belly in off the thighs creates a little more space for you to fold into. Release your arms, bend your knees, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale here, press into the feet and slowly roll up. Arms and head hanging heavy. Press into the feet, lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Now keep the shoulders rooting down. As you inhale, reach out through the fingers. Squeeze the palms together, lift the fingers high. Press into the feet, hinge at the hips, lengthen all the way down. Belly drawing in and up out of the way to fold a little deeper. And then walk forward into plank pose. Finding a nice long line of energy here in your plank pose. So really setting it up again. Shoulders stacked over elbows, over wrists. Heart shining forward, shoulders rolling back. Finding that external rotation of the upper arms as you pull the elbows in towards each other. Really fire up the core here. Lift the quads up off the knees. And breathe a little more length from heels to your crown. Rock forward onto the toes and slowly lower all the way down. Untuck your toes. Press into the feet. Use your hands to pull the heart forward a little bit, like a snake trying to slither forward. Press into the feet and lift a little higher. Now slowly, like you're moving through water, reach those right hands back, reach those hands back behind you, interlace the fingers at your sit bones. Maybe you can glue the palms together. Start to drag the hands back a little further to roll the shoulders back and open. Keep pressing into the feet. So back of the neck is long, but soften through the neck, the shoulders, the face. Find your breath. Maybe one more inhale to drag those hands back a little more, opening the heart. And release, hands under shoulders, curl the toes. Press the hips back towards the sit bones. Lift the knees an inch or two. And slowly start to straighten into the legs, finding that nice long spine. Press through that thumb and index finger a little bit more. Hollow out those armpits. Hollow out the belly, drawing it in and up. And if you're starting to straighten into the legs, maybe you can engage those quads and press them back to really sink into the heels, softening through the fronts of the ankles. And slowly walk your feet forward to the top of the mat. And now spread your feet as wide as the mat and turn the toes out a little bit and drop into a deep yogic squat. Start to push your knees open with your elbows. Actually, first, grab onto your opposite biceps. Sink into the sit bones. Now lift the heart up and roll the shoulders back. And then bring your hands to heart center. Drawing the thumbs in towards the chest. Now press the knees open more, creating a little more space. And then maybe your thumbs can come in even closer to the heart. Breathe a little more length from those sit bones up to the crown. Breathe a little more softness through the face and shoulders on the exhale. Press into the feet, slowly come all the way up. Find a little backward bend, lifting the heart. Keep squeezing the hands together as you go back a little bit. Exhale, sink back into that deep yogic squat. We'll stay here for a full breath to inhale, lengthen. Exhale to soften. On your next inhale, press into the feet. Like you're moving through water, slowly come all the way up. Reach up. Exhale, sink it back in, drawing those hands down the center line, bending deeply into the knees. Inhale to lengthen. See if you can make it last a little bit longer. Exhale to soften. When you're completely empty, press into the feet. Move slowly like you're moving through water. Stand up, reach up, fill up. Exhale, sink it back in one more time. One more inhale, press into the feet, come all the way up. Take one more little sip as you fill the heart. Exhale, sink it back in. Now interlace your fingers, release your index finger. Reach your arms forward so they're parallel to the ground. Look down to get the back of your neck parallel to the ground and see if you can squeeze your head here with the arms, gluing the palms together. Turn the toes to face forward. Keep your knees stacked over your ankles as you lift the booty up to the same height as the knees. So your thighs are parallel to the ground. Your whole body and the arms and the back of the neck all parallel to the ground. Press down into the feet. Pull the belly in. Press those sit bones back as you reach forward, straightening the arms, gluing the palms, squeezing the head. Now keep reaching forward. Slowly lower the booty down like you would tap it on the ground and come back up. Keep reaching through the fingers. Keep pressing into the feet. Slowly lower that booty down and lift it back up. 2 more times. Re-engage the arms. Keep the palms glued. One more. This time stand all the way up, press into the feet, come all the way up to the top. And now grab onto your right wrist. Step your right foot behind you and drop your body over to the left. Now lift up through the heart, soften through the face and the shoulders. Find your breath. Slowly come back up, grab that left wrist, left foot steps behind, and we drop to the right. Slowly come back up, lower your hands to the heart, and lower your hands down by your sides. Inhale, reach out, lengthen up. Exhale, lengthen forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step back to plank and hold here for 5 breaths. Stacking everything in place, engaging everything. Using the inhale to lengthen, exhale to soften. Rock it forward, all the way down, tuck your toes. Use the hands to pull the heart forward, press into the feet to lift up, and swim those arms slowly back to interlace your fingers. Glue the palm, you can drag the hands back, press into the feet, pull the heart forward, and then let those hands drag back to draw the shoulders back more. Soften through the face and the back of the neck, but keep that length. And slowly release, hands under shoulders, curl the toes, press the sit bones back, lift the knees a couple inches. And one more time, slowly make your way into that downward facing dog. Finding stillness there. Pressing through the fingers and knuckles a little more. No. Now press down through the left heel as you slowly, like you're moving through water, reach the right foot up. So lift the right leg as high as you can without opening that right hip out to the side. So we want the hips to stay in line. So the left hip is drawing up and back, right hip is lowering down. Now just press down through the right foot with the same amount of pressure. Press into the hands evenly, arms stay straight and strong. Come up on the tippy toes. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right shoulder and hold here. Exhale, drop it down to the wrist. Inhale, back up to the armpit. Exhale, back down to the wrist. Back up to the armpit, shoot it up, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hips. Let your head stay heavy. Try not to let that right armpit lift up. Shoulders softening out of the ears. Now we're twisting the hips open. Straighten that leg back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through, warrior one. Left heel spins out and down. Reach up out of the waist. Now take your time. We're gonna stay here a while, so set it up proper. Getting the right knee stacked right over the ankle, pressing the right knee forward. Maybe you can get the right thigh parallel to the ground. Bring your hands to your hips and see if you can draw the right hip back and the left hip forward. Trying to get both those headlights forward. So press down into the feet. If the outside edge of that left foot is coming up, press it down. Now take that pubic bone up towards the belly button to really engage the lower belly. Lift up through the heart, reach up out of the waist. Maybe hands come together. Maybe you can gaze up at the thumbs. Maybe you start to find a little backward bend here. Press down into the feet, press the right foot forward more, but keep drawing that right hip back. Find your breath, find that little pause between each breath, and see if you can use the inhale to lengthen and the exhale to soften. See if you can let the yoga and let the breath still the fluctuations of the mind. Bring your hands to your heart. Keep pressing the right knee forward and lengthening through the crown as you tip forward. Pull the belly in out of the way, turn and twist to the right. If you can, you're gonna keep that left foot down flat. If that's too intense or too hard to balance, come up on those back toes. All right, now twist your heart open, drawing the right shoulder back. Lengthen through the spine and the back of the neck on the inhale. Exhale, soften face and shoulders and twist a little more. Pressing the right hand down into the left to roll the right shoulder back. Now keep pressing the right knee forward to come out over that second toe. Pressing down into the feet. Finding that pause between each breath. Feet on. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the foot. Step the left foot forward. Find a powerful chair pose with your legs together. Find an internal rotation of the thighs. Reach up out of the waist. Drop into your heels a little bit more. Drop your upper body back. Like you're moving through water, press into the feet, come all the way up, find a little backward bend. Exhale, hands to heart. And hands down by your sides. Press down to your left foot, lift your right heel up into the center line of your body, cupping your toes with your left fingertips. Let the right hand come to the heart. As the right knee drops, maybe you can let it drop back a little bit more. Root down into the left foot, lift up through the left quad and grow a little bit taller like a tree. Reaching for the sun. Maybe your right hand reaches behind the back. Maybe you can grab the big toe with the peace sign fingers of that hand, or maybe you can only grab the elbow and you just start to slowly work your way down. Press the hips forward, let that knee fall back. Inhale, lengthen, grow tall. Exhale, soften, settle in. Find that pause between each breath. And check in to see if you're allowing the yoga and the breath to still the fluctuations of the mind. Maybe there's still thoughts, but maybe they're just a little less rapid fire. And release, feet together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Really press into the feet and engage the core to protect the back. Exhale all the way down. Inhale to lift up halfway, shine the heart forward. Take one more sip like you never want this breath to end. Exhale, chaturanga, plant the hands, walk or hop it back and lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay for a couple breaths. See if you can use the inhale to lengthen through the spine, the back of the neck, the back of the legs. Exhale, soften, dropping the belly towards the thighs and the heart towards the knees. Press down into the right foot, slowly like you're moving through water, lift the left foot up, high as you can, keeping those hips level. Pressing down and pressing up equally, arms straight and strong, not tilted at all. Head is heavy, shoulders drawing out of the ears, come up on the toes. Exhale, left knee, left armpit. Lower it down to the wrist. Back up to the armpit. Back down to the wrist. Back up to the armpit. Shoot it up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hips. Try not to lift the left armpit up. Head stays heavy, breath stays deep. Open the hips, try to stack them. Straighten that leg back up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through, warrior one. Right heel spins out and down. Reach up out of the waist, stack that knee over the ankle. Bring the hands to the hips, really set it up now. Make sure that knee's going straight out over that second toe. Press down into the feet, draw the left hip back, try to get those headlights forward. Pubic bone up towards the navel, heart reaching up, shoulders melting down, reach up out of the waist. Now find stillness here. Find that pause between each breath. Keep that left knee pressing forward. Bring your hands to your heart. Keep lengthening through the crown as you tip forward. Turn and twist to the left. If it's too intense or hard to balance, come up on those back toes. Otherwise, press down into both feet. Press the left knee straight out over that second toe. Start to twist your spine open. Inhaling length into the spine and the back of the neck. Exhaling softness through the face and shoulders. Left hand pressing down to the right. Maybe you can twist the heart all the way so your thumbs will touch the center of your chest. Keep pressing down into the feet. Come back up, warrior one. Cartwheel hands down. Step the right foot forward. Find that chair pose. Drop a little weight into your heels and sit back in your chair a little more. Maybe your hands come together. Maybe you gaze up at the thumbs. Keep drawing your upper body back a little more. Find your breath. Like you're moving through water, press into the feet. Stand up. Find that little backward bend. Exhale, hands to heart. And hands down by your sides. Press down into the right foot like you're growing roots down into the ground. And slowly lift that left heel up. Cup those toes with the right fingers. Let your knee fall open. Press your hips forward. Let the knee fall back. Left hand to the heart or reach it around. Grabbing that elbow, maybe working your way down to that big toe. Inhale. See if you can visibly grow a little bit taller. Exhale. Make sure we didn't stiffen. Letting go of any tension. And find stillness. And release, feet together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. And hands down by your sides. Press down into the left foot, lift the right foot up. Grab your ankle from the inside, right on the ankle bone, and try to bring your knees together to start. Reach your left hand up, up, up. And now reach forward as you kick up and back, trying to draw your shoulders into one line from front to back. So reach forward just as much as you're kicking back. Find that balance. Press the left foot down, lift the left quad up. Now level the hips out. So imagine your right knee is really heavy and dropping down towards the ground to keep those hips level. Feel that left hip lifting up and back and right hip dropping down. Kick up and back as hard as you can. Maybe starting to see those toes come up over your head. And you know, you can make yourself be big on the screen if you're not already. I think you can. And you can click so that you're the one on the big screen. And then you can kind of look at your form. It's kind of fun. Slowly release. Step your feet as wide as the mat. Turn your toes out. Bring your hands to your low back and find a deep supported backward bend. Bend into the knees a lot. Hips forward, heart lifts, head drops back. If that's too much on the neck, just keep the chin drawing in towards the chest. See if you can soften through the glutes. Inhale, come up. Step your feet together. Left hand out to the side. Lift the left foot up behind you. Grab that ankle from the inside, right on the bone. Knees touch. Right arm reaches up, up, up. And now reach forward. like you're drawing a bow. Draw those shoulders into one line and then level the hips out. All right, so the left knee's heavy. Press down into the right foot, lift up through the right quad to help lift that right hip up and back. As the left hip drops down, reach forward a little more, kick up and back a little more. Look for those toes to come up over your head. And slowly release. Feet as wide as the mat, turn the toes out, hands to low back. Deep bend into the knees. Scoop the hips forward, lift the heart, drop it back. Inhale, slowly come up, step the feet together. Bring your hands to your heart and lower your hands down by your sides. Inhale, reach out, lengthen up. Exhale, swan dive, lengthen forward, press into the feet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, chaturanga, meeting back in downward facing dog. Stay for 2 more breaths. Use that inhale to lengthen something. Use that exhale to soften something. Find that little space. Find stillness. Okay, now we're gonna hop the feet up to the outside of the hands like that deep yogic squat. Sinking down into the sit bones, drawing the thumbs in towards the heart. Start to really push the knees open. Start to squeeze the elbows with the knees, creating that resistance here. Now again, grab the opposite biceps and roll the heart open and roll the shoulders back. And then bring the hands back to the heart, pushing the knees open more. Now if you want to try an arm balance, you can. If you just would rather stay right here or maybe go for an arm bind, you can do that as well. If you want to try the arm balance, you'll bring your hands down just like down dog. Fingers spread wide, hands shoulder width distance. And the key to keeping your legs stuck to the outside of your arms is that resistance of that pushing out against the knees and squeezing in against the elbows. Press into your fingers and your knuckles like we always do and see if you can lift the toes up off the ground. If so, try to draw them in and up a little more by engaging the core, retracting that landing gear a little bit. So you're looking just a little bit in front of the mat on the ground. Maybe from here you want to drop it into a headstand. Maybe from your headstand you drop back into that arm balance. Maybe from there you shoot it back like chaturanga. Take your time, stay with your breath. In a couple breaths we'll all meet back in child's pose. When you're ready, come on up, downward facing dog. Roll forward onto your toes into a plank, and then slowly walk or slide the feet back to lower the elbows down like forearm plank. Finding that nice long line of energy as you draw the shoulders back and shine the heart forward. Inhaling a little more length from your heels to your crown. Feel the core really activated here. Feel the quads activated. Now turn and twist, kiss the mat with the right hip. Inhale back through center. Exhale, left hip kisses mat. Every time you come back through center, find a little more length. Move slowly like you're moving through water. Stay with your own breath. Keep pressing down through the hands and the forearms. And whenever you've had enough here, you can lower all the way down to the belly. All right, lower down to the belly, untuck the toes. Engage the hands and the forearms to pull the belly button forward, pull the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. Now relax the lower body, maybe shaking the hips side to side a little bit, softening through the glutes. Now again, pull the belly button and the heart forward, get your chin parallel to the ground. And slowly gaze out over the right shoulder. Keep the hands and the forearms activated to keep pulling the heart forward. Look past the shoulder. Maybe you can look all the way back to the toes. Maybe you can even look a little past the toes. Keep those hands activated. Keep softening through the face and shoulders on the exhale. Move really, really slowly as you unwind, looking back to center, re-engaging, softening backside. Gaze over the left shoulder now. Using your inhale to lengthen, your exhale to soften, maybe looking back past those feet. Really slowly come back to center, curl the toes under, lift back up to forearm plank, walk the feet in, let the booty go up like dolphin pose, head is heavy, breath is deep, shoulders drawing out of the ears, belly drawing in and up, lift the right leg up. Maybe you're working on kicking up here, you can. If not, just try to level the hips and find that balance of pressing the left foot down and the right foot up equally. And then switch when you're ready. Now from here, if your shoulders are strong, you might just try pressing right back up to downward facing dog. If you have any shoulder issues, come to the knees first. Curl the toes and then go up downward facing dog. Now we're going to slowly lower down to the knees. And we're just going to lift up to standing on the knees, to kneeling here. Bringing the hands to the low back so your hips are stacked over the knees. Feet are directly behind the knees. Bring the hands to the low back. Wrap the elbows back there a little more. Start to press the hips forward as you lift the heart up and drop the head back into a deep supported backward bend. Keep breathing. On an inhale, slowly come up. Exhale, lower your hips to your heels. Slide your hands to your knees. And find that little cat-cow motion in the spine as you shine the heart forward, roll the shoulders back. And then exhale, round it out. One more time. Find that wave-like motion coming over the spine. Stay with this breath a little longer. Exhale, round it out. Come back up to the knees. We'll do 2 more sets of camel. Maybe on this one you want to reach back and grab the heels, or maybe you just want to grab one heel and lift the other arm up. And then on our last set, you can do the other side. Set it up. Press the hips forward. Lift the heart. Find your breath. On an inhale, slowly come up, knees together, hips to heels, hands to knees, tuck it all in tight, tuck it in a little tighter. Stay there if that feels good, or find that wave-like motion. Slowly come back up, one more set of camels, set it up. Press the hips forward, lift the heart, maybe grabbing that opposite heel now. On an inhale, slowly come up, knees together. Make sure your feet are all the way together. Bring your hips down to the heels. Now grab your heels with a full palm grip with the thumb on the outside. Lean back a little bit. Tuck the chin to the chest and try to roll into a tight little ball. Maybe your forehead can come to touch the legs, and the top of the head can come to touch the mat right in front of your legs. As you roll forward like a wheel, press, pull on the heels. Draw the shoulders out of the ears. Breathe into that space behind the heart and fill all the way up. On the exhale, soften. One more breath. And slowly come on up. And now sit onto the left hip. And straighten the legs out in front. Bring both feet flat on the ground. Reach your hands forward and slowly roll all the way back onto the back. Hug your knees into your chest. See if you can grab the elbows around the knees and pull the knees in a little closer. Draw the shoulders down into the mat, tuck the chin a little bit. And now try to get the lower vertebrae and the butt on the ground. Imagine you're gonna roll the feet down till they were flat on the ground. Just to find that subtle little drop of that lower vertebrae and the booty to touch the mat here to get the whole spine flat on the ground. Use your exhale to soften the shoulders out of the ears, soften them down towards the ground. Let the left leg go long, interlace the fingers around the right knee, hug it into the right armpit. Keep tucking the chin to the chest, keep hugging the elbows in against the body. Keep the left leg really active to keep that left hip grounded. You can relax the right foot, squeeze the right knee a little closer to the armpit. Breathe a little more length from your left heel to your crown. Use the exhale to soften, settle in. Come back to that box breathing now, finding that 4 equal parts. Now reach your right arm straight up to the side, perpendicular to your body. Use your left hand to guide the right knee across the body, maybe all the way down to the ground. Gaze out over the right hand. Find that equal parts, maybe even drawing it out to a 5 count. Using all of your focus to try to relax a little bit more on each exhale, seeing where you can still soften. Slowly come back to center, hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze your forehead in to touch your knees and hug everything into the tightest little ball. Lower the head back down. Let the right leg go long. Interlace your fingers around your left knee and hug it into that left armpit. Hug the body with the elbows. Kick out through that right heel. Inhale, length from heel to crown. Draw the shoulders into the mat. Squeeze that knee in a little closer to the armpit. Find that 4 equal parts. Find that stillness between each breath. Left arm straight out to the side, perpendicular to the body. Right hand guides the left knee all the way across the body, maybe all the way down to the ground. Gaze out over the left hand, relax the shoulders. Find that 4 equal parts. And on the exhale, find another layer to let go of. Finding a little more space to settle into, a little more stillness. Slowly come back to center, hug your knees into your chest. And then we're gonna drop it back into a plow pose. See if you can get the toes to touch the ground behind your head. Maybe you can interlace your fingers back behind you. Maybe you can even glue the palms together there. Soften through the face, the neck, and the shoulders. Try to find that 4 equal parts even here. Bring your hands to your low back, creating a shelf for your hips as you straighten the legs up towards the sky. Keep pressing your hips a little closer towards the face and the feet back away from your face. Zip the legs together. Reach up through the balls of the feet. Lift the feet a little higher, trying to take some of the weight up off the mat. Slowly lower back into that plow pose. For 2 full rounds of that box breath, any leg variation you like. Maybe you cover the ears with the knees. Maybe you bring the soles of the feet together. Or if you're bringing the toes to touch the ground, maybe they go back even further. See if you can find a little more softness through your neck and your shoulders, making this more about the curve of your spine and less about your neck. Lower your hands to the ground, and as slow as you can go, lower the upper vertebrae down first. Lower one vertebrae at a time. Once your booty touches the ground, squeeze the legs together, kick out through the heels, and take 10 more seconds to lower the legs all the way down. Keep the chin tucked and the shoulders drawing into the mat. If you want to pop up into a fish, you can bring your hands underneath you, palms face down. Press into the elbows to lift the heart up, arching the back, reaching the crown of the head towards the mat behind you, pressing down into the elbows to shine the heart up and roll the shoulders back. Legs are zipped together, reaching out through the balls of the feet. Maybe the feet lift up off the ground. And release. Hug your knees into your chest. And now we'll find a happy baby. If there's any one last pose your body's craving that you would like to do before Shavasana, feel free to do that now. We're going to do a nice long Shavasana today. So they say Shavasana is actually the hardest pose. It's the one we look forward to and feel like, it's over when we get there, but it's actually the most difficult one to do properly. Because to do Shavasana properly, we have to fully let go, and that's hard to do. When you're ready, we'll come into that final pose, corpse pose, letting our legs go long on the mat. Letting your toes fall open. Closing the eyes down. Hands by your sides, palms facing up. Or one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. So now we'll let go of controlling the breath. And just notice the gentle rise and fall of your belly, like the ocean's tide. As the tide comes in, it fills you all the way up. And as you exhale it all back out to sea, see if you can visualize the ocean and feel that. Breathing with the tide. And imagine with each exhale that this is the moment you've been waiting for. This is the moment where you can let go a little more than you thought you could. So a lot of times we think about this pose as the end of our practice, but it's really just the beginning. It's getting you in this space in hopes that you can stay in this space throughout the day. So just really take this time. We have a couple more minutes to take a really long Shavasana today. So just let go of any thoughts of time or what you need to do today. Anytime that starts to come up, just take your breath and your awareness back into the low belly and count down from 5 if you need to get back out of the head.
invite a deeper breath back into the body. See if you can feel this sense of newness. See if you can use this next breath to invoke that beginner's mind, as though this is the first time you've ever filled your body all the way up with this prana, this life force. Imagine that you don't even really understand what that means, what this breath really is made of. And just get curious as you take a little more air all the way into the body. Just really notice how it feels. And as you start to move the fingers and the toes, see if you can sense that joy of being that you can only access right here in this moment. And again, just getting curious, really feeling that sensation of movement through the body. And imagining that you don't even really understand all of it, what it means, what those sensations are sending signals of. And just get curious as you feel that all the way through the body, just becoming a little hypersensitive to all the sensations. Trying to elicit and bring back some of that childlike wonder. Tapping into that innocence. When you're ready, roll over onto either side. And maybe commit to being a little more playful today, lightening up just a little bit, smiling a little bit more. Maybe even letting yourself off the hook for all the things you had set out to do. Maybe making it a goal to stay in this space all day. And maybe that can be your barometer. Maybe you can still clean the house or do some of the things on the list, but you can stay in this place. And maybe if there are things you can't do while staying in this place of peace, maybe you opt out of them today and make this just a day of peace, where this is your priority, is just being present and experiencing this joy of being. When you're ready, slowly peel yourself back up to a seat, letting your head stay heavy and your eyes stay closed if you like. Come back up to find a nice tall spine again. And imagine for the first time, you're inhaling the arms up overhead, like you've never felt this before. Be curious. Find a little smile. Bring your hands together like you're just exploring your body, your hands, your arms for the first time. Lift your hands a little higher and slowly, gratefully draw your hands to the heart. Let your head bow to the wisdom of the heart. Close your eyes and see if you can commit to staying in this place a little bit longer today, maybe all day. Maybe continuing that box breath and continuing to follow each breath into the body. I think sometimes we think that our yoga and meditation is enough, and then we just go back to our chaotic days. Hopefully right now you're finding a little more time, because the real practice is in every breath, in every moment, trying to stay in this space. And you'll fall out, and that's okay. Just notice when it happens and use one of your tools to come back. Maybe that 5 count, breath into the belly, maybe that softening into the heart space. Bring the thumbs up to that space above the eyebrows and take a moment to thank yourself for showing up for yourself. May all beings everywhere be free from pain and suffering. May our thoughts and actions in some way contribute to that. Namaste. I said namaste. Jeez, leave me hanging. Thank you all for coming.